In this video, we are going to work with open source data from the City of Lubbock public GIS portal. To access the portal, we will just Google the term City of Lubbock GIS, and then we'll go to the first link that shows up. And here we will go for the public data. Here is the home for all the types of data that are available publicly. So it is a valuable resource because it provides local, accurate, and up-to-the-date datasets that are directly relevant to our site analysis and design projects. We'll start with the simplest and most commonly used file format in GIS, the shapefile. So we can access all the shapefiles over here. And here you can go inside the first link and you'll see all the shapefiles that are here. So what is a shapefile? A shapefile is a widely used GIS file format that stores geometric features and their associated attribute data. This means a shapefile tells us both where something is on the map and what it is. So it can consist of point data, it can consist of line data, as well as polygon data. And all of those could be used for different types of data. For example, a point shapefile might show the location of a bus stop. A line shapefile might represent the roads or trails, and a polygon might outline parcels, parks, flood zones, and city boundaries. From here, you can see each shapefile actually consists of 5 files that work together: the .cpg, .dbf, .prg, .shp, and .shx. In order to work with any of these shapefiles, you have to download all of these, not just the .shp, which stands for the shapefile extension type. But as soon as you download, you can start to use this. So I'll show you how to use any of this. One of the most used data from here is the parcel data. So I'll try to download that. So here I can see parcels. So I'll just click on it. And then I'll go to my folder where I'm keeping all my GIS files. And then I'll create a new folder, which I'll name City of Lubbock GIS _ shapefiles. So now I'll double click on it and save this file over here. And then I'll do the same for the rest of the 4 files. So I'll click on .dbf, save, click on prj, save, shp, save, and shx, save. Now, if you come to your ArcGIS Pro, you'll start to see this. So in order to connect that folder, you need to right click on the folders and add folder connection. And then you have to show ArcGIS Pro the folder your file is located at. So in my case, that would be here. So here I can see City of Lubbock GIS _ shapefiles. This is where I downloaded my parcel file shapefiles. So I'll click on this and hit OK. And then if I expand my folders and expand my City of Lubbock GIS shapefiles, we'll see I have parcels.shp. So if I drag and drop this, it automatically zooms into that. It starts to add data. And this is the authoritative data for City of Lubbock for parcels. So if I hit Ctrl T for my parcels, I have all of my attributes that are associated with these types. So I have legal description, I have owner name, I have owner city, I have owner zip code, and quite a lot of different types of data that are there. So now I have downloaded a few different types of shapefiles. I have my building footprint, city facilities, lakes, parcels, parks, railroads, and zoning. Let's start with zoning. Let's drag and drop this. And now if I press Ctrl T, I have the zoning attribute table. And here I can see different types of zones that are associated with it. If you want to make them alphabetical like I did, you just right click on the file tab and then sort ascending, and that will give you this in alphabetical order. But this is too much. You can see I have like, I don't know, thousands of AC. So let's right click on this and go for symbology. And instead of single symbol, let's make it into unique values. And then instead of object ID as my field, let's make it into UDC zoning. So here I can clearly see what types of zoning I have within City of Lubbock. This is the new UDC zoning code system post 2024 that Lubbock has adopted. So here I have different types. As you can see, I have AC. AC is agricultural conservation. GI is general industrial. HC is heavy commercial. HDR is high density residential. IP is industrial park. LI is light industrial. MDR is medium density residential. MU1 is mixed used low intensity. MU2 is mixed used moderate intensity, and high density. This is regional activity center. NC is neighborhood commercial. OF is office district. RE is rural estate residential. SF2 is single family residential suburban lot. So these are the types that I have. So I can color code each of these into different types, but I can also select all of those by holding Shift, and then I can directly change the color scheme into something else that makes sense. So let's say I want to do it like this, that is a little more vibrant, and then I can just change the ones that I don't like. So for LI, light industrial, that can be something in yellow, or I can just go in and change the colors manually if I wanted to. So yeah, let's do that, and I'll speed this portion up. And just like that, I have my City of Lubbock zoning map, which is pretty fast. Now, on top of it, I might want to overlay my parks. So I just drag and drop my parks layer. And of course, I want my parks to be green. So let's create a green symbology instead of a yellow and hit apply. So those are my parks. And if I hit Ctrl T, I can start to see I have park name as well as different other stuff. So let's add a label for my park. So right click and go for label. And now I can see all of my parks names. So let's change that into something smaller and something lighter. This is too light. Let's make it a little darker. So now it's kind of readable. I can also try to make an outline of the texts, but at this point I won't. And again, labels would come in handy when I print in actually scales. So let's turn off the labels for now. Also, if this green is too boring, what I can also do is I can go to my symbology, and then instead of this I can go to my gallery, and in gallery I have tons of interesting symbols with hatch and all the good stuff. So I can actually go for, say, something like this, and then I have an interesting hatch pattern. And I think I can also change my appearance of the hatch. Instead of brown, I can make them darker greens and hit apply. That would give me a little more natural look for my hatch, park hatch. So that's one way of getting parks into here. What I can also do is I can go up here into my feature layer and change the layer transparency so I can see what's beneath it. So let's say I have turned on my transparency, And I should also turn on my zoning transparency, and then I can start to see everything that's below it. So yeah, this is pretty interesting to look at. Also, I believe I downloaded my lakes data, so let's drag and drop the lakes. I don't think my lakes have their names, but let's check again. Yeah, my lakes don't have their names, but they do have jurisdictions, if that's useful to you. But let's change the lake colors into blue. A nice blue. And then I have a nice Lubbock map going on. So that's one way of getting things inside ArcGIS Pro from City of Lubbock portal. Now let's talk a little about orthophotography and aerial photography. So if I click this, this directs me to my orthophotography archive. Here you can see it's very high resolution. Here all the way to 2025, you can see these are TIFF files in 3-inch. All of these are geolocated, and you can see each of these are somewhere around 600 megabytes. So it doesn't make any sense that I download thousands upon thousands of TIFF files. So what should I do? Essentially, at first I should select my site, but then I should go into this one. This is a neat little trick that you can follow. If you go inside that, it opens up an ArcGIS web application where you have LiDAR and contour data. But even more than that, it has LiDAR and contour index. This is pretty important. This index is this layer right here, and this is also the green tile that we can see over here. So let's say you are working with Mackenzie Park and you want to get high resolution imagery of this area. So that would be this tile right here. So you should click on this and it would provide you with the tile number. You should copy this tile number. Of course, you can take a note, and I suggest that you take notes of what tiles you might or might not need. And then you go over there, you go to whichever year you want to. For me, it might be 2025 TIFFs 3-inch, and then you do a Control F and then paste that. So you can see it comes up with that specific tile number, and you should now click on both of these. This work hand in hand. So click on this. This should start to download. And I'll create a new folder here, which should be City of Lubbock Imagery. And I should save my file over here. Now that I have a new folder, I should create a new folder connection. And then, as I can see, I don't have that folder right here. So that's very common. All you need to do is hit refresh, and here you'd see all the new folders that you have created. So in my case, this would be City of Lubbock GIS Imagery. So I'll click OK, and then over here I have my tile. So I'll just drag and drop this guy, and then it should load in a second. So once it comes out, it gives me this warning. This does not have sufficient statistics or histogram. So I'll just hit yes. I don't mind this calculating the statistics. And there I have my TIFF layer right here. And if I bring it all the way up here, you'll see it's a very high resolution and low distortion imagery tile. So good thing about this is a multi-band imagery. So you can always go to your raster layer, and then using band combination, you can see the color infrared. which also gives you an idea of permeability. So the more red this is, the more green surface it has in reality. So again, you can just click on this to see where your actual green surfaces are, and then this infrared will give you the permeability or the idea of permeability. So you can see that within your buildings you have less amount of permeability. They are all mostly white and gray, but within your green surfaces they have your permeability more. So here, as you can see, these are soil which has kind of like grasses, so these are more permeable, and so far and so on. And you can also use machine learning to see the permeability analysis percentages. So that's one way of using this imagery layer.